Hey guys, how's it going? I am back with my daily stream. Now we have 4 to go. I'm really looking forward to the end, actually. But these streams is definitely a bit of a challenge for me for a number of reasons. But also, I think there's a benefit for me. I hope also for you. And a lot of the times during the stream, these broadcasts are not edited. So a lot of the times I have to kind of explore or come up with certain explanation or observations live on the fly. So there is some genuine reaction there as well when this happens. And I'm hoping to reach that as well today. On today's agenda, I have a few topics that I want to cover. One is okay. So there are 3 things I want to do. I want to look at that RSI indicator that I've shown you, but yesterday. But I also would like to backtest it, and for this, I'd like to employ ChatGPT. So ChatGPT will help us to program a backtester. And then I also would like to create a bot from TradingView using a signal bot feature here on 3Commas. So all of that is live. It's not pre-rehearsed. I have actually never tried using this new feature on 3Commas. So you'll get some genuine reaction from me there. If you are watching this live, if you're open by, say hello to the chat. If you have any questions or comments, please also share them in the chat. So I'm looking on my other screen at the chat to see if there is any of you who has anything specific. Okay, so yesterday I have shown you one indicator. It was basically random that I found it, and it was RSI length, this one, and I added it. And here there are multiple. If we go into the configuration of that indicator, you could have multiple lengths indicators or visualize them visualize indicators on a multiple lengths. And yesterday I just did one, so I did 7, length 7. And that's what we were looking at yesterday with you. This is from yesterday's stream. And we said, well, okay, below 30 probably would be a good area to enter a long position. And we can see that visually as well, right? You can see this areas when it's right below the shaded pink area. Oh, hello, Tom. Then this would be a good place to buy. But now I'm at 1 hour chart. Would it be maybe better if we go to 30 minutes or 15 minutes? And what is the exact value at which we should be buying that? Should we buy right below 30, or should we try maybe to go a bit lower? So that is really difficult to answer visually. And for this, let's try to create a backtester. So we open this indicator, and now we look at the code. I think it should be free, yes, right here. All right. And I'm not really a coder, and it's really simple, but there's a lot of built-in functions there in TradingView. So it's mainly a script that was created to make things prettier instead of using the native built-in RSI indicator. So now let me work with this code and let's try to create a backtester. First, I will make a copy of it. So RSI length version 2 backtester. Let me save it. Okay, once I save this right here, it's now editable. I will also change the title here so it matches. Save. And instead of opening the one from the community, I will open this from my scripts, right? So it should be here now. So far so good. It's exactly the same script. And I think most of you have tried ChatGPT now. It's been now a bit over 1 year since it's been out. So it's probably not so much novel to work with, but let's do this one together. So I'm copying the code, going to my GPT, and let me start interacting with ChatGPT. So I say, hello, what do you think of this code? And this is just my starting prompt. And let's give it a moment to review the code. So it says, well, we use input parameters, and that's the lengths, and there are 4 input parameters here that calculates the RSI and it plots the RSI. So now, as GPT had read my code, I can ask it to do some modifications for me. First, I think I will just ask it to, well, let me ask it multiple things. Let's see if it can handle multiple requests. Okay, could you just focus on one length input instead of 4? So simplify this script, but also could you convert it to a backtester? So that's a very high level instructions that I'm giving to GPT. Let's see if it will understand this. And this is GPT-4, so that's the paid version for $20, not the free one for which is 3.5, version 3.5. That one works as well, but since I'm using ChatGPT quite often, I decided to have a monthly subscription. All right, so it had modified the code and it's explaining to me the changes that it produced. And that's excellent if, for example, if you're learning to code, if you're learning to program, and ChatGPT would be such a great teacher. So we have strategy.entry and strategy.close, which would simulate opening and closing positions. So let me copy this code now, go back to my TradingView. I will remove this code and I will paste what GPT gave me. Now it says compiling right there. I don't know if you saw. And I have my very first error. So it says you cannot use the strategy function strategy.entry in study script. So probably this would not be good. And we can just feedback the error or the warning to GPT so that it knows. I'm getting an error in my TradingView and I'm giving it an error that I received. Okay, so then it realized that we should change this to strategy instead of the study, and it's giving me full updated code. So that was the only change, but it gave me full updated code. That's fine. I'm going to copy that. And one more attempt to save this. Now it says again compiling. And it compiled. So let's see what I'm getting there. Well, it compiled. This is really good, and we can see the profit curve. I am on 15 minutes. And let's just take a look what inputs ChatGPT left for me. So it put RSI lengths, and it put, I didn't even study. As I'm speaking, I didn't even study the modifications. So I'm studying now what GPT had prepared for me. So it automatically predefined the oversold and overbought level, but I could modify them. So now we're looking at 72% profitable. This is good. 2.5 profit factor. This is really good as well. And we have an average trade of 1%, 119% on this 15-minute chart. And it's using RSI length 14. Now, let me look at the properties. So for properties, I usually like to modify that myself when I'm back testing this, just to make it a bit more kind of closer to reality. So instead of contracts, I'm saying, well, I'm trading 100% of my equity, or it could be 80% or whatever. And I say, well, my balance is, for example, 1,000 US dollars. Okay, so I modified the properties, so it's a bit more understandable. Now, that doesn't really change this profitability, but it just makes it a bit more readable for me. So I can see that, well, now I'm, from 1,000, I'm $103 richer. And this is on 15 minutes. Okay. Let me look at the code again, what I have here. So backtester 14 was predefined as the default variable. Again, I can change this overbought and oversold levels. And we are buying, we're going long. Long condition buy when we are below bar. And the bar, yeah, so we go long when we are oversold, right? And now let me switch back. Now we can also see this visually right here. You can see this. So I'm on 15 minutes. We are having this buy and this sell. That looks good right here. You can see on this, this GPT had done a good job, I think, now for us. We also see indication here, this green icon, and we see a buy here, and then we see a close. So as soon as it touches this green line, it buys, and it sells here again. Then it's waiting for the next green line. Boom, we bought it here, and we were very, very close. We never sold. That's a pity, right? Right here. Maybe if you were trading manual, you would say, yeah, I'm going to close this. But the bot, it waits for the condition. So it did not get executed. And again here, so this is pretty good. I'm really pleased to see that ChatGPT helped us on the first try or second try, right? It just made one minor mistake, and I'm getting this recorded live. So I'm happy. So far, so good. Let's just study this a bit more. So let's look at the list of trades. Currently, the latest trade was 28th. So it was yesterday morning. We are kind of holding this as an unrealized loss. Then we have 25th, 26th, 21, 23. So it seems like about 1 day or so. I don't know if we can have, let's see if I can have some statistics. For example, I would like to know what's the average holding time. Not sure if I can tell from here. Average trade 119. Losing trade 4.05. I suppose that's more like a drawdown. Largest losing is 17th. So that's the drawdown right here, possible drawdown. If you were, for example, to set up a DCA or trade on futures. Now let's see what other parameters in terms of RSI length or time interval would give us a good ROI. So now we can already see from this backtester that I could set up a script, either use a strategy or an indicator, and I could utilize these three variables, the RSI length 14, overbought 70, and oversold 30, to create an alert. So this is already quite reasonable performance. I could even work with ChatGPT further to enhance the backtester and implement a stop loss. And I think that would be really interesting to have maybe a strategy with a stop loss. And that's something you could then run on futures. But I'm not sure I can fit all of this in a short stream. So maybe tomorrow. We stay where we are now. Let's see. So average trade 1.2%. What if I go to 5 minutes? Okay, my average profit decreases. Net profit also decreases. And if I continue going in a lower time intervals, this is also decreasing. My drawdown, I think, is increasing. So not advisable. And look, and that's really interesting. On 15 minutes, this is working well. I have 100% profit here for the defined time period. But if I go into a larger time interval in 30 minutes, then we're starting to have issues. So we are buying here. We shouldn't have bought here. We're selling here. This is not working on 30 minutes. It's not working on 1 hour. It's not working on 4 hours. So back to 15 minutes. Hey, Ron. Hello, hello. And now let's also take a quick look how the lengths will impact the profitability. Well, lengths are also these levels. So what if I wanted to buy this? So I'm buying this at 30. What if I wanted to buy it even at more extreme levels? Is that will certainly decrease the number of trades, but what will happen to profitability? So let's try this. So oversold level 30. Now I'm going to 20. Yeah. So that's not helping at all, actually. The drawdown increased. Average trade profitability. What if I do 25? Yeah, that's also good. So what about 35? So 35, yeah, seems like 30 is just the right level to enter. Now, what about a selling? Shall I try to modify this one? So we sold here. Maybe we should wait a little bit and sell higher. Let's try that. So instead of 70, maybe I go to 80. Oh yeah, there is a bit of an increase. Did you see that? I'll show you again. So 70, my average trade is 1.19, and I got 68 trades, and my total profit is 110%. If I just wait a bit and I sell at 80, look, sorry, it's okay like this, then somehow I'm one less trade, so probably I had to wait a bit longer to sell. My profit suddenly is 290%, and my average trade is 6%. That's pretty good. Let's see if we can see this visually. So we have one here, buy here at this level, sell here. One more buy here, then we're waiting long time. Let me expand this a bit. And yeah, like there was a few opportunities here, but we waited. So where did we sell? Or we haven't sold this one yet. Yeah, this one we haven't sold yet. So maybe we should have sold somewhere here. So 76. Now the issue here is that this might be then over-tuning. We're really over-tuning this for specific coin, for specific moment of time, right, as we backtest. And yeah, the past will not necessarily repeat, but that's what we do. Okay, more trades now. Look, 45 trades. Average trade is still higher than 70. It's 2.6. I think the drawdown improved, and total net profit is 189. So maybe some of you will say, well, that's fine, that's safer. And last variable to play a bit with, and that's the links. So what happens if we go with 7? Much more trades, right? We're starting to scalp. It's shorter links for the relative strength index, but it doesn't really improve our profitability. It still is okay. We are scalping. Drawdown is not improving. Okay, what if I just use the same and go lower? Because, for example, what you could say is that you could say, well, I want to tune this specifically to work on futures, and I want to try to, have a quick entrance and exit. I'm satisfied with a smaller profit per trade, but I also want to have a small drawdown. So that could be also a possibility. So it takes, and look, as soon as we go above 15, this becomes not very useful, at least these current settings. So for the purposes of the bot that we are about to construct, I think we're going to stay with 14. Or maybe I can also try 20, just for fun, twice as. Yeah, that it increases the profit per trade, but overall, we're making less money. So go back to 14. These are defaults. I think this is what thousands of traders are using, these levels, right? So markets are being traded by them, and we are kind of jumping on the same wagon. Okay, so the reason we backtested this is in order for us to create a signal. Now, in 3Commas and some other platforms, you could create a signal from strategy. Currently, this is, as I can see, coming soon. We cannot use the strategy. We need to use an indicator. So indicator is something that we did have as the previous version. So let me open this again, RSI So that was the script that this person wrote. That's the indicator. So indicator, so my strategy, I'll just mute it for now. So the indicator is something that we can use to set up the alerts. And again, you could make a copy of this if you wanted to, kind of make it your own, customize this. So let me just look at one RSI length. We're going to use length 14. As we learned, and we're going to stay in 15 minutes. And now we're going to create an alert. So how would an alert look like? Those of you who have been trading probably know this very well. So we create an alert, add alert, RSI 1, that's the first length, crossing. So which one we want to do? First, we're going to do the buy here. So it's crossing down, what did we say, 30? Value 30. We will say buy RNDR. Okay, here, this is where we're going to put the alert condition. For now, I'm going to leave it empty. I'm going to make it once per bar closed. We are on 15 minutes, and this is good. So double check myself. RSI 1 crossing down 30. We're going to buy RNDR. And similarly, we could, so now I'm going to find this alert that I just created. This one, it's right here. And similarly, we will create a sell alert. So back to my indicator, add alert, RSI 1 crossing up. What did I say, 75? Crossing up, once per bar closed, sell. Okay, we are almost ready. So now I have two alerts. Let me just close. I have my other alerts kicking off here. That's the beauty of doing things live. So just to remind myself, I'm going to look at the backtester, and we set 75. We sell at 75. Okay, this is ready. Now I'm going to the signal board. I haven't done this before at all. Hopefully this is intuitive. So TradingView customer indicator. Click here, webhook URL, copy. I'm going to paste this on my second screen in, okay, it's very simple. So it's just 3Commas TradingView, which I think I already have. No, I don't. Okay, I'll paste it here. And I'll need to save. And the same for this one, notifications, webhook. Okay, good. Then, so what does it require me to do? It's confusing. I have set up webhook. Okay, I've done it. Proceed. Next, it's asking me for exchange. Fine, I'll use my OKX. I don't want to do it on futures, so I want to do it on spot. Okay, fine. For the testing, I'll do it on futures. Leverage 3. Let's put something more interesting, maybe like 10. Isolated and crossed. Okay, I think cross is fine. And it will give me the bot name. Okay, RNDR bot. Initial margin. Can I modify that? Probably not. So I'm doing this for the first time. Oh, right here. So I can set this to maybe 5. 5 USDT as the initial position. I want to manually confirm all signals. No. Start condition, TradingView custom indicator, max total investment 50. Okay, that sounds good. I think that sounds good. Next, entry long. So I will not do short. We could actually extend our backtester also to see if we can create a short bot. But again, we will not have enough time. So I'm copying this, copy, price deviation from the same order. Signal will receive only if this condition is met. Price deviation from average entry. Not sure how to use these two values. Let me just copy this long entry here first. So buy RNDR, that's going to be my entry. Hopefully it will pick up the coin name right here. We will see. Save. And continue. And then we do exit, copy. And I put my exit here as well. Okay. And I think that's all. I didn't do this special conditions. Maybe I'll read about it next time. Okay, create. And now I have this one bot. It's listening. It's listening for my TradingView signal. So maybe if this drops. And in fact, I'm going to kind of provoke it to buy this thing for me. I will modify my values maybe so we can have it a buy right now. So we at 34 now, 34.8. I will say 34.5. So let's see if we can get a buy now. Okay, and while we are waiting for this buy, I think we are very close. I want to give you the code that I have been given to you every day. And this is a 1 month's pro subscription, 90% discounted. In case you don't have 3Commas, you can take this code, enter this. I think you'll need to pay $5 or $6, and you can have all the functionality for 1 month. So I'll leave it on the screen. Let me put it also in the chat as well. And then hopefully we'll get our buy signal right now. So let's see, we are very close. Did it get entered? So 34.5, and we are below. So why didn't we do it? Let me just change this to once only. Crossing, and I will do just crossing again to get it to trigger. 33.60. $33.80. So now, as soon as this, okay, it triggered, alert is sent. Let's see if the signal bot is working. in trading, but do I have a position? This is the question, right? I hope $5 was enough as the minimum order. I can try to increase it. Then, of course, I could also log into my OKX to troubleshoot that a bit. Okay, let me increase it to 10. Confirm, done. Go back here, restart my alert. So this is how you troubleshoot. This is how you go around creating and testing bots and strategies. Okay, new one entered. Did it get executed now? So we don't know. I don't think it got executed. And we don't know why. I don't know why. So I would need to troubleshoot this a bit more. I think my webhook is correct. So I need to dig into this. But there was still hopefully value for you in this session. I had fun. Thank you for hanging out with me today, Tom, Ron, and whoever else. And I'll talk to you tomorrow.